I used to think small-town legends were just a way to keep boredom away. Every American town has a ghost story, a cursed road, a haunted motel. But the one we had in Rattlesnake Ridge, Nevada, always felt different. People didn't just whisper it for fun. They whispered it because they were scared it might actually be true. They called it the Death Station, a forgotten AM radio frequency that broadcasts only once in a blue moon, and only to announce the death of the person listening. And the worst part? The broadcast always happens 24 hours before you die. I always laughed at that story, until the night I heard my own name. It happened on a freezing Saturday at 1:13 in the morning. I was driving back from a late shift, half asleep, trying to stay awake with anything I could, cold air from the AC tapping my fingers, even slapping my face. My phone battery had died hours ago, so the only thing I had for company was the radio. I turned it on, hoping for some music, but all I got was static. Every station I tried, nothing. Just dead noise. The desert is a strange place for radio signals. Sometimes they bounce weird. Sometimes they don't reach you at all. But then, suddenly, the static cleared. A voice cut through, sharp and cold, like someone speaking through a decades-old ham radio. This is station 1030 AM. Tonight's final obituary goes to listener Daniel Hayes. My hands turned to stone on the wheel. Daniel Hayes. My name. Before I could even react, the voice continued in that slow, emotionless tone. Time of death, 1:14 AM. Cause of death, roadside collision. I looked at my dashboard clock. 1:14 AM was exactly 1 minute away. My chest tightened. My breath stopped. My instincts screamed at me to do something, anything. I slammed the brakes. At that exact moment, headlights exploded in my rearview mirror. A semi-truck, massive, fast, completely silent, until that second, blasted past me, swerving into the opposite lane. If I hadn't hit the brakes at the exact moment I did, that truck would have crushed my car like a soda can. I would have died instantly. The moment it passed, the radio fell silent again. No voice, no station, just static, like none of it ever happened. I drove home shaking. My hands were numb on the steering wheel. My heartbeat felt like it was trying to escape my body. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't even turn the lights off. I just sat there replaying the broadcast in my head, wondering how a radio station could know my name, and the exact way I almost died. The next morning, I went to the diner in town. The old men there know every rumor, every piece of gossip, every story that's ever been told in Rattlesnake Ridge. When I mentioned the station number and 1030 AM, everyone went quiet. Not one person laughed. Not one person said it was bullshit. They just stared at me like I had told them I saw the devil himself. Old Earl, who'd lived there since the 70s, finally leaned forward and said, "Son, that's the death station. Anyone who hears their own name doesn't have long." I tried to joke about it, but he didn't even blink. "It broadcasts 24 hours before you die," he said. "Always has." I walked out of there feeling sick. All day I tried to calm down. I told myself it was a prank. Maybe someone hacked the signal. Maybe it was a coincidence. My brain tried every explanation because the truth was too terrifying to accept. When night came, I kept every light in my house on. I didn't dare sleep. I kept staring at the clock, watching the minutes crawl toward 1 AM. At 1:12 AM, the radio in my living room turned on by itself. I wasn't even near it. The dial twisted on its own. The same voice returned, clearer than before. "Update for listener Daniel Hayes. Time of death, 1:14 AM. Cause of death? Home invasion. My heart dropped into my stomach. They changed the cause. It wasn't the truck anymore. Something else was coming. And then, a knock on my front door. Slow, heavy, 3 knocks. Thump, thump, thump. My breath froze in my throat. I grabbed a kitchen knife, hands trembling so violently I almost dropped it. The knocking didn't continue. Whoever was out there, or whatever was out there, just waited. The radio whispered again, quieter this time, almost like it was right behind me. Open the door. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. The clock hit 1:14 a.m. The knocking stopped. For a long time, the house was silent except for my heartbeat pounding in my ears. I waited and waited, but nothing broke in. No one came through the window. No one forced the lock. At 2 a.m., the radio finally shut off. When sunlight came, I felt like I'd survived something impossible. Like the danger had passed. Like I'd beaten whatever curse the station predicted. But I was wrong, because today, at 1:13 a.m., exactly 24 hours later, the radio turned itself on again. And this time, the voice didn't say my name. It said, "Update for listener Daniel Hayes. Time of death. Now. Cause of death. Ignoring the warnings." I don't know what's outside my bedroom door right now. I don't know what I heard moving through the hallway. I don't know what's breathing on the other side of this wall. But the broadcast stopped, which means whatever is coming for me next is already inside the house, and I don't think I have 24 hours anymore.